Hey guys, thanks for joining us. My name is Carrie.
Hello everyone, I'm Casey.
Today we are covering an interesting topic that we use this word in all of our segments. It's the word discernment. Discernment is a heavy one. It's something that needs to be used all the time. And
it's an important one.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit there. What is discernment? The dictionary describes it as the ability to judge well, the perception in the absence of judgment with a view to obtaining spiritual guidance or understanding. Discernment. Discernment is something that any type of medium, any type of empath, anybody in the metaphysical world, spiritual world, really needs to use. It's important because we need to make sure that the information that is coming through to us when we're doing readings, when we're doing people watching, when we're going into houses, all the time, any of those energies, we need to decide if it's of light or is it of dark. And obviously, if anything of darkness or low vibration needs to be completely put to the side and out of the way. But sometimes it can be really hard to do that, especially when you are experiencing energies or entities that might seem neutral. Neutral to a lot of people is a gray area, which a lot of people will take gray areas and treat it like, well, it's not a black area, so that's fine. It's not really a white area, so that must be fine too. Gray is a perfect example of a place not to go. It needs to be either black or white. And so it's really important to use discernment to keep those vibrations only in the positive area. Everything of love and light, no lies and no deceit. That is super important. That's a gigantic one for discernment. We know that we obviously don't want to talk to negative entities. We know that we don't want to have these neutral or low vibrational entities necessarily around us. But why is it really important to use discernment?
Well, because these entities are not always going to show themselves in their true form and of their true nature. These entities that are of darkness or the somewhat gray, it's merely a camouflage. It's really either one or the other. The gray area it's camouflage and what I guess could be yet to be determined, but in hindsight and looking at it really, it is determined. It's just doing trickery. It's trying to deceive you into making you think that it's something that is sweet or innocent or, just needs help or something like that.
And that's a lot of the examples to that is we've had clients who have had activity within their house and they have had, say, a grandma entity figure within the house that seemed really nice, and turns out that activity was really demonic, and the clients had no idea that that's what it was. They were often saying, we're going to stay in a neutral space. It's, as long as this entity doesn't do anything seemingly negative or too much of a negative. For example, things being pushed off shelves, things like that over and over again, people will say, okay, well, it's fine if you do that once in a while, but don't do it if it gets annoying to me. That type of verbiage.
Or leave this space be, and you can have this space over there.
Right. That doesn't work. You can only stay in the basement, but you can't go in the rest of the house. That's not how that works. It's really important to use discernment on knowing what exactly the energies that are around you, what they really are. Are they of light or are they of dark? It's just that important in everything that you do.
And these entities of dark, they're not going to respect your boundaries. They're not going to adhere to your rules or think that you're going to put them in a timeout because they go into a room that they're not supposed to go in.
Right. That just doesn't happen.
Oh.
With discernment, too, sometimes people will see these really positive energies. That's fantastic. If your discernment weighs out and you are clear with your guides and they're saying it's okay to talk to that person, their vibrational levels check out, this is an actual positive, wonderful entity for you to experience, then yes, it's okay to proceed. But sometimes with using discernment, those positive energies might look like a safe, beautiful aunt that had passed.
Or a sweet, innocent-looking child.
Right, asking for help. But if you are really going into astral realm and you're looking at those entities and using discernment, positive vibrational entities will keep a positive vibration. Negative vibration can enter a positive space or the higher vibrational space, but it cannot maintain that space for very long. Sometimes, depending on how powerful that negative entity is, it can sustain that space a lot longer than other negative entities. But there's always going to be little tip-offs that negative entity is actually negative and not the positive one that you thought you were experiencing.
And that's why you should never lump entities or demons or angels into one specific kind of pot that collectively suits them all, because that is factually wrong. That is not true, because they all are going to have different abilities, some more significant than others. So it's important to remember that.
We all have our guides around us at all times. We all have protection around us at all times. We all have love and light around us at all times. It doesn't mean necessarily that we're tapping into those areas, but making sure that you're using discernment to know the difference. Because without knowing the difference, you won't be able to know the difference. Those guides, though, with the positive guides, those guides that they're there to help you be the best you that you can possibly be. They're there to help fulfill all of the purpose that you have while you're walking this plane. They're there to help guide and mold you into the being that you were created to be and all those purposes that you wanted to achieve while entering this human plane.
And they're going to do this without the intention of trying to trick you. That goes against their vibration levels. You know, they're not going to try and play games with you or make you guess or anything of that.
Yeah, there isn't confusion when it comes to those positive entities. They don't want to confuse you.
Not at all.
If you are getting any type of confusion, that should be a red flag to you at all times, to know that you're likely tapping into the wrong type of vibration that you want to be. Sometimes as you're learning mediumship, guides, before you really start, doing readings with them, or before you start listening and hearing them fully, it's almost like a game of charades with you. They will come through and they might give you all sorts of random things, but it's not meant to be out of confusion. It's trying to get you to a place of understanding the communication form that those guides have. And if you are not in a place of where you are able to see yet, and you're only hearing and feeling, that's okay. Go ahead and be there, but really be discerning on the information that you're getting. So discernment, when do we use discernment?
We use discernment all the time.
24/7.
Yeah.
And even with that discernment, let's be honest, I'm not always perfect on my discernment. I feel like I'm a pretty good light warrior at that, absolutely, but I'm not perfect. And I really go to him a lot too with my understandings and perceptions of what I'm picking up from other energies, and see what he registers from it too, because he's so very much tuned into my being and into my highest purpose as I am with him. We're not there to be stumbling blocks to each other. We're there to lift each other up and help each other move forward in our goals and ascension process. So I'll bounce ideas off of him, and he'll be like, "Hey, are you sure that's the direction that you want to go? That's, put a little check on you there, because that discernment needs to happen, and it's good to happen." And I need that. It's not something I want to be all up in my head 24/7. That's
Yeah.
So yeah, when to use it, you use it
All the time.
24/7. And it's something also to be aware of with discernment, with the types of people that you surround yourself with, the type of people that you truly let enter your own personal circle. It's important to make sure that you're keeping high vibrational people around you too, and people who are very supporting of your goals and are willing to do whatever it takes in a positive nature to help you grow as a human. The same thing goes, that you need to be the same way to other people. Mirroring that has to be something in there, but we all need to help each other with discernment too, because our understandings are really limited by our lack of judgment and perception.
Discernment is one of your greatest weapons and tools for armor and keeping yourself protected. You certainly wouldn't want to run out onto a battlefield with no weapon and no armor.
Right.
Well, this is the same principle here. This is your armor. This is what keeps you from dodging metaphysical bullets, if you will.
Right. So it's very important to examine everything. Don't take it lightly. Examine everything. When you are doing any type of mediumship practices whatsoever, any tarot cards, any divination, going into new areas, discernment needs to be a part of absolutely everything. If you're perceptive enough to pick up energies at all, which most people watching our YouTube channel, they are, that's why you guys are here, it's going to be really important that you are using that discernment 24/7.
Yes. Yes.
And having somebody to be accountable with that really helps.
Yes, for sure.
So then how do you really use it? When, like we were kind of saying before, you're going to break it down energy to energy, one thing at a time. Don't take on all of those energies at once. If you're feeling like there's multiple energies around you, ask your guides to help slow it down one entity at a time. Because again, those guides are not there for confusion. They're there to help you learn and grow. They're not going to have you just completely compiled with too much information. And it takes training too to be able to limit yourself to one thing at a time.
You don't want to have a Black Friday rush,
Right.
on your metaphysical doorstep. So, you want to have some kind of crowd control in there and some kind of gateway, and
Right. I hate Black Friday.
someone to check people off as they're trying to come through and make sure that they're real and not something else. So.
Have those entities scanned down like airport security.
Right.
Everything. You don't pass, you're out.
Right.
You don't pass, you're out. Okay, you can pass, you're really good. That's up to your guides though to help you do that. Those checkpoints have to happen, and your guides will tell you and help you with what way it's going to happen too. And for me, truly, the way that my channel works, as far as when I'm tapping into astral realm, I only have everything on one side. Entities are only allowed to enter from my right. They're not allowed to enter from my left. That's part of my discernment process. My guides will filter people through, and I do have a version of an airport security. That's just my way of being. That's what I feel comfortable with. Guides are really good at making sure that they reinforce this, but they will scan everybody down before they're even able to come to me whatsoever. And that needs to be an important process. So I know that if something is trying to come in from the left side, they're already out. Discernment says absolutely not. There's a rule and a code of conduct. You have to go through the right channel or forget it. Part of my discernment is knowing that if something tries to come in from the wrong side, it's out. You didn't play by the rules. You're out. You're not entering this field. You're not entering this awareness whatsoever. And I certainly am not doing a reading for somebody else when it comes to mediumship if the entities are coming through on the wrong side. That is something I never want to deal with, is those low vibrational entities. I don't have an obligation to them in that discernment. It's for my protection, it's for his protection, it's for our client's protection, it's for everybody's protection. And that's going to be something that our guides want for us, is that protection. We just thought it would be a good idea to do a compact segment on the word discernment and why it's important for you, when to use it, how to use it, at what times do you use it. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We hope you enjoyed this mini segment on discernment. If you like what we do, please subscribe to our channel down below. Click on the bell so that way you can see when we are putting new videos out. I said videos, yes, I'm old. When we put out new segments. But thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed. Have a great night.
Take care, everybody. Love
and
and light.
light.